Joseph, just a quick introduction, and then what do you do? Tell us about the company you're heading,
Well,
and
yeah, man,
we'll
I'm
go from
pretty
there.
much running a full service hospitality service up in Miami. When I moved down here, I pretty much was starting as a private concierge, just, you know, making my own connections, kind of directing whoever's interested into their own kind of thing. But when I'm trying to expand it, so I've turned it into its own service. Now it's called Graffeo Hospitality. It's my last name. And, I'm just trying to, help people out around the city, hook them up, whatever someone needs, there to help them out, right?
Oh, amazing. So, tell us a little bit about how your services look like in a city of like Miami, right? How do you help people? Let's say if they contact you or wanted to enjoy some of the
Well,
great
yeah, I
services
mean, a
you
lot of
offer.
people like to travel in. A lot of people are just locals, so I'm trying to, hook people up in all different spaces, make connections to direct owners, like for yacht charters. Got a 230 fleet yacht charter. Options to choose from, you know, huge, massive yachts to just little boats. So, sometimes people want a boat day. I've made connections to lots of different clubs like M2, MJ, even Space. So big clubs, and I pretty much only work with tables for those. Uh, and I've made connections, huge restaurants like dinner party restaurants like Kiki on the River, and fine dining restaurants like Mother Wolf. And I'm just trying to send people in, show them a good experience, get the red carpet thrown out for them, and make sure they're satisfied. Most of my pay comes from the actual you know business paying me off, maybe for bringing them clients, and that's kind of how I'm getting paid out. So it's not like my clients are paying any extra for going.
Amazing. Do you have online presence right now, or do you have ways that people can reach to you right now, or you're still building a little bit of that
I've done
foundation?
everything privately through me, my phone number, my DM, LinkedIn, everything like that. But now that I'm expanding it into a real business, I'm trying to make it its own thing. So I've made it Instagram account just last night. I've made, kind of its own LinkedIn company. So it's all under Graffeo Hospitality. I'm trying to expand it as a business, with obviously me as the face, kind of everything handled through me, directly through me. I'll make my calls, but I still want to have some kind of uh, background, everything handled under one name. But it is all directly through me
Amazing.
either way.
Great, great. So it seems like you're jumping into that entrepreneurship all
Sure.
man act. Hopefully, you'll get to grow quick enough so you can have an army
Of course, I'm trying to get
under
some
you. So,
brokers, working
um,
under me. I, splitting cuts with them, whatever I make. Obviously, I'll give them a good cut. I'm trying to get some more people to just send me in some clients and, have them get a part of the game too. So use my connections for good.
good. Well, let me ask you how did you get into this whole concierge service? What inspired you to take that route, or how does that fit in Joseph
Yeah, well,
Garfield's
I'm
life?
from Boston. I've always been the guy who knows a guy. So I wanted to kind of bring that same thing down here. If anyone needs anything, I want to be the guy that can help them out. I want to help out both parties. The client's getting hooked up, the business is getting helped out. So kind of everyone wins. And I've always kind of liked that business model. It feels good to help people out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and helping people out here in Miami is also a good recipe
Best
for
place in
having
the
a good
state,
time
man.
sometimes. So, absolutely. How do you end up here in South
What
Florida
originally
from
brought me
Boston?
was modeling. I did a little bit of modeling up in Boston, and when I came down here, I got signed with a new agency called Front Management, and I've been working with them, working with some photographers, building up my portfolio. Just that's kind of what brought me down here to get more work for that. Obviously, I like working for myself. I wanted to kind of start my own thing on the side, especially after doing sales my whole life. I thought it'd be a good space to get into.
Good man. Yeah, I think there's seems like Miami is a vacation place, right? So even people that actually live or have short-term residency here, they
Mm,
come in vacation mode. So I think that you're in a market where, the half of the locals, there's a demand for
definitely.
concierge services, So how long have you been in
Since
in
mid
Miami,
October,
actually, Joseph?
mid October, I moved down here,
Okay.
and I've actually for the amount of time I've been here, I've made some pretty solid connections. Just shaking everyone's hand, meeting anyone I can. I've always been a talker. I've always liked to meet people, so
Yeah.
I'm a social guy.
Good.
But
You
yeah,
gotta be, man. You gotta be. That's the only
yeah.
way,
There's
You gotta
definitely
break
some
the
cool people
ice. That's
down here that
great. Great to hear, Joseph.
you know, it's always good to
Well, you're gonna get to experience your first Miami season. So we just kicked it off with Art Basel. So that's kind of like one of the best events
mm,
that we have in the city of Miami. Um, but yeah, there's plenty of more activities and conventions that will happen throughout the next, I would say, until May.
yeah,
Um, that you're gonna see this city. It's gonna be
yeah.
alive.
Always
So
something going
yeah.
on here.
Have you ever visited? Have you ever visited Miami before you moved, or how did this decision? Okay,
Mm.
I know you have the modeling, but it's like, okay, well, I mean, did you have something really pulling you here, or you just said, let me just go out and try this out,
Alex, I'm
try
a real
something new?
spontaneous guy. I actually checked out
Yeah.
the place in January. I went down there for about a week and a half. I took a one-way flight. I stayed for a little while, jumped hotel rooms, and I loved the place. So I was like, I got to get down here, and I made it a goal for myself by, fall of 25 to get down here, and made it happen. Did end up moving really
Cool.
last minute. I was like, I got to do it. I'd rather be here for the winter, especially here going on. It's just a good place to be. It's like a permanent vacation.
Well, Joseph, it takes a lot of
Mm,
valor, right? And good for you. Good for you. I mean, you're young enough that you can have 5 years of full
mm,
spontaneity, right? You could just jump into it because these are the moments, or you're in the time of your life where experience is going to really
definitely,
shape up,
definitely. I'm trying to
where you're
build
going. So,
you know,
uh,
good service here. I'm trying to build, something long term here. So I'd like to stay for sure.
good. Tell us. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, what do you see yourself, or how do you see yourself evolving in Miami for the next year and maybe for the next three
Yeah,
years? What do you see? What do you see? Graffeo concierge
Graffeo
service,
Hospitality. Yeah, I see. I
hmm
mean, it's going real good.
hospitality.
You know, I mean, obviously, you can always make more connections. You can always, you know, make the service better. I mean, people I'm sending in are really getting hooked up so far. So it's just a matter of, you know, gaining my clients, getting more, people actually in the game with me, hooking up more people privately. So kind of, getting my name out there, getting my number out there. I mean, I've made some really good connections, you know, worldwide events, everything like that, man. I can hook it up, maybe expanding from Miami to different cities, making connections to, Vegas, New York. Those are big spots for hospitality. So, making some connections to people in those cities would definitely expand the company. Right now, I'm, staying in my area, staying in Miami until, the client base is really built out. I'll be able to expand even farther.
Amazing. What's your favorite restaurant right now in the city so far? Where do you see it's the place that uh, you've enjoyed the
Man,
most?
I haven't been to too many restaurants since I got here, actually, but I mean, Mother Wolf, can't go wrong. Great Italian, great restaurant. They always give great service, and everyone that I've sent there has been real happy.
All right. So tell me a little bit about what perhaps sets you apart, makes you unique, right? From all the other services that you're gonna see out there, right? Um,
I mean, people like me, man. You want to go through me, I want to help you out. You know, I'm not just gonna be some massive service that's just gonna throw you somewhere. You know, try and make a cut off of you. I'm trying to, you know, really do good. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to really help you guys out. You know what I mean? I want people to be happy going through me. I want them to send their friends, their family through me. I want, you know, kind of expand, you know, all through great service. Make sure everyone's happy in the long run, right? And that will actually get me more business too, you know?
No, absolutely.
It's referrals, baby.
Sure. No, that's a great answer. I mean, it seems like you handle everything personally, and if you do things from the heart,
Oh,
they
yeah.
always pay off. Absolutely. So that's everyone's unique. So I love it. Um, so I know we met. You're staying over in the Aventura area, which is by where I live, and um, we connected over coffee. It was a great coffee to have, and you told me about some of your sales skills, right? Um, Tell me about. Let's talk a little bit about your sales skills, right? What did you, let's say, what inspires you to really then shape up into those sets of skills, and maybe what experiences did you have to be able to kind of understand this is a strong in you,
Yeah,
right?
well, I mean, sales is life, man. Sales is everything. You know, you got to connect
Hmm.
with people. You got to be able to hear people out. And I mean, you got to be able to, you know, sell what you're offering. You can't sell it, you can't do anything. No business runs without sales. So I think sales skills are definitely one of the most important things to build up. You know, it definitely helps me out in what I'm doing now. You know, if I can, you know, sell someone on what I'm doing, it's, you know, advantageous to everybody. And, you know, if I can sell, I got to sell my connections too. I got to sell the business on doing right by my customer, actually hooking them up, you know, giving them great service. So it's things like that. You know, I'm able to overbook the systems at some restaurants, and you know, I wouldn't get that without, you know, closing them on that, right?
Of course. No, absolutely. I think in this day and age, everybody needs to have their sales skills polished. If not,
But
you're
yeah.
not going anywhere. Absolutely. So, you know, uh, what do you say is the difference between the city of Miami so far from back home, from Boston? What sets, in your perspective, what sets the two
Well,
places apart?
besides the sun, it's definitely a very different group of people down here. You know, I've noticed in Boston, you got definitely a more tougher crowd up there. Down here, it's a little bit different, but you know, Miami's definitely a great place to be, man. Boston's not really a spot you want to take a trip to in the middle of the winter unless you got family there. You know, it's definitely is a pretty different demographic, different kind of people. Like I said, it's a lot warmer down here, man. That's why I like it. Always like the sun.
Yeah. You see yourself going back to Boston, moving back to
I
Boston?
drove down with a buddy. The second we saw palm trees, he's like, "I know you're not turning back." Because I told him, you know, I'm just checking it out, just checking it out. But we saw palm trees. He's like, "You're not going anywhere, bro." I'm like,
It's
I
a
love it
tough
here,
one.
dude. I don't want to go back. Maybe for the summers. I know summer gets brutal out here. You know, maybe spend some time during like July up in Boston. Maybe expand the service up to Boston too. And, you know, get a little bit of work everywhere I can go. Right?
Well, I think that flexibility is good, and you said something that hit bullseye there. The
Mm.
heat really settles here in Miami during summertime. So if you do have a plan and you can actually profit out of that plan, that seems like a
Mm.
great idea. Maybe even, set yourself some seasonal flow, right? Or market, right? Shift
Yeah,
markets for the
definitely,
season.
definitely wouldn't hurt
So,
expanding a little bit.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
was driving a convertible drop top in Boston till about October, till about right before I left. Top wouldn't go up. So I was driving around in mid October with the top down. I was like, just getting that fixed. I took a rental car
right.
down here and had to buy a new car when I got here. So That's kind of how I handle
Wow.
it. Like I
Okay.
said, I'm a last minute guy.
All right.
That's kind of I didn't worry about fixing the roof because it was so nice out up there. Came around to bite me in the ass.
Yeah, straight man. So, do you have any friends here in Florida that you connect with, or your friends are mostly up in
Well, I
Boston?
grew up with a really tight crew. You know, I've had a good group of guys around me my whole life. We've always been real loyal to each other, and I've had them come and visit. A few people have visited me. Actually, most weeks I got buddies in here in my apartment. Yeah, I've been hanging out with my roommate a lot. We've been out having good times. Meeting new people. Been hanging around with his crew a lot. Having workouts with people. Just hanging out. I've always hate being alone. So anyone I'm with, I'm just having a good time. Being out.
Well, Miami's
Oh yeah.
definitely a social place, so
Oh
you
yeah.
won't suffer too much of that. Yeah, of loneliness here. Do you have any of your friends that are in the same journey that you are? Let's say are also focused in entrepreneurship and trying to, get a company up and starting.
Well, I'm 20. Most of my crew, most of my people around me, most of my peers are in college. I got a couple buddies studying entrepreneurship, a few working on their real estate license, which is something I'm also looking into. My roommates just getting into financial advisory. Everyone kind of wants to work for themselves. Definitely my group of people, they always kind of want to do their own thing. And, that's just kind of how we were brought up. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My father owns a fish distributor, and my mother owns a hair salon. So that's always how I've kind of been. It's rooted in my blood.
Good, good, good. I think you're ahead of the curve
And you
if
are
you
you
have that
hang out with my
mindset,
closest buddies
and
are also kind of in their own
100%.
journey for that. One is going to start his own plumbing business. He's working on that. Other buddy's just studying entrepreneurship and kind of doing his own kind of thing on the side.
Amazing. Looks like you come from a household of solid values, so
Old school
that's
Italian
amazing.
values, bro.
What would you say? I love it. I love it, man. What would you say? And I don't want to put you in the spot like that, but what would you say? Some of the values that you carry over from your household that you are, you embody them, right? That you really live them on a day-to-day basis,
Uh,
or that are most important for you.
I mean, my number one value is loyalty, man. You got to be with your people. You got to do right by them. You got to, you know, be able to trust the people that you're with, to the full. It comes down to it. You need people that you can trust. And I've always been big on loyalty. I try to be the, best friend I can, best man I can for my family. That's kind of a big value I've always stuck. What about you, man? Growing up
Amazing.
around here,
Um,
what's kind of a values? Tell me some values that you have kind of integrated.
well, I think that through 50 years of my life, there's plenty of values that I've come to embody. There's the whole spectrum, right? From resilience, right? And um, there's the empathy side, right? Do you want to be also empathetic enough that you are, understand people, right? And are able to relate to people. Loyalty. I mean, those are uh, intricate
Mm.
values, right? That really uphold who you are. So, and I don't think they're complicated at all. I think that at the end of the day, there's lower frequencies and things that get in the way of us acting what our true nature truly is, right? What our real nature is. So, um, I think that's it. You have to sometimes be careful with your ego, right? Because
I
you
struggle
can
with
get caught
that,
up
man. I'm a
uh,
cocky guy.
very easily. Yeah, And listen, this is a place where it's easy, right? Because Miami, and I love Miami. I've been here for half of my life, and there's plenty of little sides to it, but there's a very superficial, right, life that a lot of people live here, right? And you have to be careful to not get caught up on that, right?
Putting on a show. You see a
Um,
lot of people putting on a
I,
show
I'm
now.
I'm 100% right, and yeah, I mean, some people they can do it, and some people are doing it this season, and they're
Mm.
gonna pay for it afterwards, and people come here to Miami to live sometimes the way that they do not live in their home, right? And then there's the others that actually live in Miami that
Yeah,
that's the life, right?
that's definitely
Um,
something that I'm
but
trying
yeah, you
to,
just
not be doing. So when, I'm trying to brand myself, obviously as a hospitality worker, private concierge, I don't want to make it seem like I'm putting on some kind of show, online. So I'm trying to, figure out how to build that online presence without, seem like I'm trying to act like something I'm not. I'm a connector.
and that is smart, right? I think the people want to see genuine, right? At the end of the day, they're going to relate to somebody that comes across genuinely. So I think that you have a right angle into how you want to present yourself, right? And you have a really great advantage. When I was growing up, when I was your age, there wasn't social media
Yeah.
wasn't a thing, right? I think that with your great personality, right, and you know, also your will, right, and wanting to be successful, right. Uh, Technology can really catapult that, right? It's one of those things that all of a sudden, if you leverage it
Mm.
correctly, you can build up a
Yeah.
career very quick, and you have a lot of examples of that in your
Yeah, it's
generation
all marketing
already.
now. Yeah,
So
social media is all
so
just easy marketing.
it is all
Trying
marketing,
to figure out a way to get in on
but
that.
everything is marketing. Everything is marketing. Yeah, we got to a day and age where we're just so occupied with our phones and with consumerism, and wherever it is. I'm not saying that it is such, that's life, right? But everything is marketing. Even uh, being able to have the ability to shift, that who you are requires marketing to understand that there is something else besides just
Mm.
buying
Yeah,
stuff.
why am I
So
buying it? What is different about this, whatever coffee shop than some other coffee shop down the street, right? Convenience. Why'd I do this?
exactly.
Why am I spending money?
Yeah. But again, I think that what doesn't, what it's hard to put a price on is
Mm.
mostly experience, right? And you as a concierge, right? What really can make the difference, right, is your personal, let's say, driving the experience for those that you
Mm.
are taking care of, right? So yeah, I mean, in 30 years that I've been in hospitality, especially in restaurants, there's a very uh, a great ideal that
Mm.
I bought into, right? And yeah, a guest oftentimes does not remember what he had to eat
Mm.
during that dinner, but he will always remember how you made them feel, right? So if you really want to, have an impactful, uh, experience, or build an experience, an impactful experience to a guest, you have to be able
Yeah.
to touch them, right? Find
Yeah,
find
you
that
gotta
nerve.
give,
So
show
yeah,
them an experience, right? Make them something they'll remember.
emotion is the only thing that will build that imprint. That it will be a permanent memory for the person if you're able to take them into an emotion, right? So
Definitely, man.
yeah. And that's the course, Joseph. In my opinion, that's exactly what you got to do. You got to be genuine, and you got to hit the nerve. Make them feel
Mm.
make them feel,
Make
you
them
know.
feel.
So yeah. So I think that we should be okay for today. How about we'll go to the studio, see what we can dig in through this, and then we'll shoot
Yeah,
something in person like you wanted to. I'm gonna call my buddy Mark and see if he might be available, and
yeah,
then
and the
we'll meet up again and we'll do
for sure, and
some
the
more content.
AI. Did you want to touch on that a little bit? Maybe what you got going on with your AI
Sure.
and kind of the tech services you're offering.
So yeah, absolutely. Basically, think about it this way. I mean, and it's a conversation I'll continue to have with you, right? But um, it's like everybody understands how AI or how much they need AI, right? Everybody understands that. Wow, if I don't get into or if I don't update my business or if I don't integrate AI, I'm gonna miss the boat, and they're probably right, right? Everybody understands that everybody's been using ChatGPT already for a few years, right? It's not a new thing. Maybe it was a new thing 3 years ago, right? But now it's part of everybody's life. What we don't know is the second leg of this. Right now, we're just going through this infrastructure phase of the whole technology. Um, so what's next? It's going to be the world is going to optimize, and the countries that adopt this technology first are going to win pretty much this race. Right now, basically, we're talking about China and United States. Those are the people in the race, right? So, anyways, uh, just to touch up on AI, right? That's how big this is. It's become a world, let's say, powerhouse race. Uh, we're not talking about wars anymore. We're talking about technology, right? It's like when the Russians and the United States were trying to go to the moon, right? This is this type of thing, right? Probably even bigger. What we are trying to do is we're trying to bring some clarity, right, to business owners, to entrepreneurs, and find where not only they can utilize AI, but where AI can be leveraged to automize, build better workflows, right? Maximize productivity. Where can AI can be leveraged to increase revenue? Ultimately, how do you grow, right? How do you scale, right? And again, there's many aspects where AI can be applied to, right? From the conception of the business itself to where you want to take it, right? So that's what we do. We bring that clarity. Our clients go through a discovery process where we basically break down the whole operation, and we look at it, take a deep dive on it, and then rebuild it with the right tools in
Yeah.
place,
So would you
right?
say,
Um,
running a company, running a business is easier than ever now with AI?
I would say 100% by far. I think that it doesn't hurt to hibernate for a little bit and at least get a small grasp or understanding of certain skills. That little knowledge is going to allow you to really, whether is it through your own automations that you build, or is it through you're able to identify what type of talent do I really need in my let's say, yeah, in my operation itself. So AI is just supercharged anyone, brought the cost down dramatically. I think that things like marketing are gonna be redefined, right? And I think that a lot of jobs in a way are in jeopardy, yet I think there's a lot of opportunity as well to create other type of
Yeah.
experiences. So like you're doing. I think that there might be a moment where people are going to be able to actually enjoy life a little more. And I don't know if you heard Elon Musk say the other day that jobs are going to be optional, which is, the way that this is going and this technology is evolving so quick, it doesn't, I think in 5 years, 7 years, this could be a really serious or clear discussion, right? If we are actually guiding this technology the right way, right? If we as humanity is being responsible in how this technology is being leveraged, right?
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, it's a pivotal point, and I think that fear is going to come because it always comes at the breakthrough of any technology or revolution, right? But AI probably is not. We're not going to reach that. Let's say supreme AI, AGI status right away, but I think that in the next few years, couple of years, 2026 and 2027, we're going to see a massive breakthrough in applications and use cases.
You've been in hospitality, you said 30 years now. So I mean, you've seen tech grow, you've seen the iPhone and everything like that. How would you say, for someone like me or anyone in the kind of hospitality, how would you say you would integrate AI into something like that or any kind of small business?
So listen, there's I mean, we already know what ChatGPT can do, basically. So a lot of the, let's say, setup and time that would take for us to, let's say, build certain infrastructure for our business, it can happen instantly, right? And even outsourcing a lot of these things, with technology itself has become incredibly accessible, right? But obviously, ChatGPT, it's going to be an accelerator for you to be able to make decisions and presentations and all these, let's say, projects, time-consuming projects that slow down just the velocity of the business. And what technology and AI are doing for marketing right now, it's unbelievable. If you look at Facebook and Meta ads, TikTok, it's you have a message that is just arriving to the specific audience and how personalized campaigns can be, right? So yeah, I mean, we're talking about we're running. If you want to run, we can run, right? It's like that. It's not gonna. The wheels aren't even turning. This is just the beginning. This hasn't really penetrated, society yet. There's a good group of people and minds that are understanding how important this is, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of businesses that haven't even considered, right? And just a little bit of pressure in technology, like a little bit of assistance in technology can definitely move the needle a lot when they're utilizing the power of AI.
It's a different age we live in. We're gonna see how it evolves over time for sure. Sometimes I wish I was living before we had the phones. Everyone's all stuck up in their phones now. You're hanging out with people like this. It's not. Nothing's as personable as I feel like it would have been back then. But I mean.
No, I agree. Wow, it's funny you actually have some sort of memory that was life before, because it is something that I look back and I mean, because I lived there. I live where, I mean, I wasn't home. I was at, there was Atari and Coleco and whatever. These are video boards or games, and I didn't want to do that. It didn't make any sense. So. But yeah, I know that there's, I mean, I have children now,
Yeah,
and
you've seen it.
I don't think I, so it's a very different way how we're raising our kids. Absolutely. I'm sure you having conscious
Yeah.
of that,
I mean, there's definitely
it's
its
incredible, right?
advantages.
Hmm.
Definitely I'm able to make connections, make clients through the phone. I'm kind of thriving through personal connections is what I'm kind of trying to keep this as. Meeting people out
Yeah,
authentically,
yeah.
helping them out, in person. But I mean, it's nice just, throwing a phone call out there and everything's all set.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, listen, that's why, there's going to be so much demand for what you're doing because people are going to want that personal touch, right?
Yeah.
Or human touch. And if this scales to that level, right? Work can be in a way
Mm.
a social place, right? Where a lot of people go to work and they have some sort of social environment in a way, right? We spend more time in work sometimes than we spend with at home, So, but technology as it keeps making jobs, uh, or let's say reducing the workforce in the way that we know it, and I mean, as jobs are being taken from the workforce, there's a lot of jobs
Mm.
also that are being created online, right? From people working from a computer. So I think a lot of these metrics are need to be also evaluated because I see more people working online than
Yeah.
ever. Maybe it's just because also I've
A lot
been
of people you meet down there
but
too. All,
yeah.
all on the phone, working on the phone.
Hmm. In Miami,
I mean,
everybody's
even
working on the
even I
phone.
kind of am
Correct,
out
correct.
here.
And yeah,
I got someone
right.
I met up
No,
in
no.
Boston a few months ago, and he's coming down for the weekend. He gave me a call, and I threw him on a yacht for this weekend. That's kind of all handled through the phone. Made a phone call.
That's how it is. That's how it is. Yeah, and so social media is like your extensions
Mm.
of you, right? So, it's like you have to play the game, right? You have to play the game because if not, you're going to be left behind. Nobody's going to get to know you. Why? Because people
Mm.
are there. That's where people's attention is, right? You can't get people's attentions in
Yeah,
billboards anymore. Is that we're not in that
yeah. You're
society
even on the
anymore,
phone when you're
right?
driving. You don't even notice the billboard.
Yeah, but the power of
Mm.
social media overall is incredible, and obviously ChatGPT now we're the convergence of that. It's what we're slowly seeing a little bit, which the footprint that you need to have online needs to be you know not just vertical. It needs to go in all directions, right? In order for then these large language models to you know see you in the world, right? So it's not just a couple videos, and you need to be in all
Mm.
platforms. You need to be in blogs. You need to have your newsletter, or things. You need to have a overall
Yeah.
footprint so that the large language model can recommend you as
And
some of
I
the
was
top
curious
choices. So
if you're on
yeah.
you know, other platforms. I know you're doing the podcast, but for this new service you're offering, I'm wondering if you're on any platforms, marketing yourself.
Yeah, 100%. We're building it as we speak, but yeah, 100%. It's something that we're gonna go strong on
Mm.
2026 for sure. But we're setting the infrastructure, and yeah, it has to be. Add for a couple of other projects that I'm
Mm.
planning for sure. It's a
Ready
must.
to take off when the time comes.
Yeah, I'm trying to outsource a little bit of that, but yeah, I mean it's something that at my age I've had to dive into as well and learned a little bit about the process because it's here. It's stronger than ever. I think that social media, it's obviously it's set a footprint, right? You have generations now um, that been raised on that, right? You have parents that were raised with social media, right? That were
Mm.
born on social media. But right now it's where it's really that data engine. I think that the data points right now are such that you are the content that you're getting fed. It's like it's your prototype, it's your avatar, that you there's an avatar self of you that is just attracting all this data, and it's from little micro decisions that you're making, or things that you're clicking, or things that you're liking, and you're building that avatar footprint, and you're getting fed that. That's the
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is that
you're getting fed what you're interacting with. So
yeah,
you see it,
100%,
with
100%.
everything.
So
Like they're say you're right winged politically. You see, they're gonna feed you stuff left wing that's almost unbelievable. You're like, how can anyone ever think that? But then you see something like same thing for the people on the left. They're seeing something for the right, and they're like, how can anyone think that? They don't put anyone in a middle ground.
So correct. So those are I think some of the red flags that we need to be responsible with is that, right? Is that we now live in a society where we have to recognize, what the actual freedom that we have of expressing who we are, right? And we can't take that for granted either, right? Because we have to be able to know, and that's why I told you earlier, for me, empathy is extremely important, but we have to hold on to our values, right? And it's you have to be responsible. And how do you feed from social media? Period. That's it. You just take in what's positive, what's bringing life to your life. So there's a responsibility that comes with that, because then you're gonna be cursed by the AI.
I get caught up on the phone sometimes, and it really is a lot of the time a waste.
We all do. It's been designed for that, right? So now I think that part of it is just being conscious, and opening the time for it, and then to say, okay, I'm wrapping it up. I'm not, I'm going to be a human for a little bit, or go on your vacations,
right.
Once in a while.
Yeah, everything's for the Instagram now.
Yeah.
Girls are having weddings to post about it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Exactly, man. So Joseph, let me ask you a real quick question. On a Tuesday night, let's say, what's there to do in Miami? If I were back in my 20s, or let's say I'm 29 or 25 years old, going to Miami, what's the place to be on a Tuesday?
Always somewhere to be in this city. There's clubs that'll be going crazy on a Tuesday. Clubs that'll be going crazy on a Monday. There's always somewhere to be. Always something you can do. Even like a restaurant, they're all booked up. Stuff like that. There's always, something to do in this city. Maybe you want a nice dinner tonight, something like that. Dinner party, you got to take out the team, show them a good night, have them all bond and relax. It's stuff like that. There's always something to do. Me, I'll probably be spending my time, maybe at the lounges, hanging out. Just meeting people, hanging out. The city doesn't sleep. It's like New York.
I think more. For some reason, I think even more. I mean, New York is just bigger, but I don't know. I remember my last visits to New York. I used to think that maybe coming from Miami, it's a little different, right? But yeah, I mean, back in the day, I used to wake up in the morning to go to the party. You know what I mean? It's like there's no time here. There's always a party during the weekend. It's a time, a party, a festivity, something to do at any.
I mean, even
always, exactly.
You got people going to club space at 8 a.m, just getting ready to party. It's definitely a little reversed around.
It's wild. It's wild. Love it. Well, Joseph, you're in the perfect time to enjoy it, and make some money through it. So that's great that you're able to, show people what Miami is, and show them a great time. So
yeah, that's what I'm here for. We're living it up.
You got it.
Living the dream, brother.
Absolutely, living the dream. Amazing. All right, man. Well, it's great to connect with you today. We'll wrap this up and connect at at another
Percent. Yeah,
occasion.
good talk.
All right.
Always good talking to you, man.
You got it.
All right.
Absolutely. Good talk.
Take
Good
it
talk.
easy.
All right. You too.